welcome to another episode of Love Shreveport Podcast. In fact, this is episode 13, and we are so excited. Of course, we've got a special guest with us today, Miss Lesie from Sportran. How are you doing, Miss Lesie?
I was doing better before I knew it was episode 13. That's not bad luck.
Well, you've got some good information you're going to give us, so we're gonna offset the 13.
Regardless of the day.
Yeah, regardless of the day.
It's good news.
So tell us a little bit about, first of all, just about you in general. I know we're going to talk about some Sportran stuff, but tell us about you, Miss Lesie.
I'm from Shreveport.
Okay.
Graduated from Captain Shreve and I spent the majority of my career, spent 11 years at El Dorado and then 3 years at Margaritaville. Okay. So I come from a casino marketing background.
Okay.
I was the advertising and PR manager for those properties.
I got you.
Yeah. So decided to go in a different direction and have never been happier, really, being at Sportran and knowing that you're actually contributing to the community has been life-changing for me as far as my career goes. So it's been a great fit.
So Sportran is your love. You love it there.
I love it. It's the people that work there are incredible. Mr. Washington, who's the CEO, is just a visionary, and the community is important to the people that work there.
Sure.
Everybody's on a mission.
Most definitely.
And it's just, it's a good aura. It's just a great place to work. It really is.
Awesome. So can you give us a little history about the agency?
Sure. Sportran started, our roots go back to the 1870s when mule-drawn trolleys were in downtown Shreveport.
Oh, wow.
And then those became electric trolleys, and then eventually they became the bus system that you see now for Shreveport and Bossier City.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's a long history here in the area.
Wow, amazing. So what are the different services that Sportrans provide for the community?
We have our standard, what we call fixed route, but everybody would just think of as the city bus.
Okay.
And that's, stop to stop, the one main terminal, and the routes around town.
Sure.
Those are obviously the large buses that you see.
Okay.
We also have on demand, which is something that we started in 2020. A lot of transit agencies across the country started this. I apologize for hitting it's Uber, but it's not door to door. So it's a ride share, but you get picked up from an on-demand stop and taken to another on-demand stop. And what it allows you to do, you have to book these ahead of time. So you go on the app or you call and you book your ride. You go to your nearest on-demand stop, and it takes you to your destination of whatever that on-demand stop will be closest to where you're going. So you are in a sedan or a van. You're passing all the bus stops that you don't need to use, and it's just a quicker way of travel. And that's also free under our zero fare program.
Wow, so it gets you past the bus stops. So you can kind of surpass those so you can get where you're...
in the MLK area, but you work at the Port of Caddo-Bossier. If you book on demand, then you go to your nearest on-demand stop, and it takes you to work.
Wow.
Right.
How new is that?
That's we kind of did a soft open in 2020. By 2021, it was up and going, and we're continuing to add stops as we go. So the purpose of the microtransit to begin with was to give access to public transit to people that weren't on a bus line. So in the more rural areas, and then as we've grown, we've incorporated a little bit more into the city limits. Sure. But it's really just to connect more to transit where they don't have actual routes or lines.
I got you. So this is so they can either do the old school bus, or they can do the on-demand.
Absolutely.
I got you.
And then we also have on-demand paratransit, which is for our ADA riders. Okay. And this is a service where these are the larger vans that you see that are equipped to load wheelchairs, where we do pick people that you have to apply and qualify under federal regulations, and show that you medically need this service.
Sure.
And they will pick you up from your door, take you where you're going to that door, take you home. You can use it for shopping, for medical appointments. We have a lot of dialysis patients that use that service. Yeah, it's very invaluable to the area.
Wow, that's amazing.
Right.
Now,
it's a great program.
Now, you talked about zero fare earlier. You mentioned it, and when I was growing up, I found people that rode the bus, they had to get change and try to make sure they had the exact change to drop it in. Now we're talking about zero fare. Explain that a little bit more.
As I had mentioned earlier about the owners and managers of Sportran being real visionaries,
Sure.
this is the perfect example to demonstrate
Sure.
what I mean by that. The pandemic hit public transit hard across the country. Most people, if they ride the bus, but then because we had limited how many people could ride on the bus, there were, some routes were reduced. And this was to keep people safe,
Sure.
You had to wear a mask, you had to
Yeah.
social distance. We all remember that
Yes.
fun time.
Yes.
But again, it's just numbers across the country for public transit were way, way down.
Yeah.
And public transit is important to communities. If $40 a month makes a difference in people's pockets.
Most definitely.
So the federal government, to increase ridership, offered transit associations and agencies the chance to apply for federal monies to use for advertising, meaning, take this, spend it on billboards, TV spots in your local area to try to get ridership back. Well, Denera Washington, who's our CEO, asked for special dispensation from the federal government to use that money to get rid of fare instead of using it for advertising.
Wow.
And they gave them the green light for it. So, while it's not free, it does come out of federal grant money. It is free to the riders, and it does make a difference to people that use the bus.
Most definitely.
And in that time, our ridership has increased 353%.
How about that?
Yeah, it's been crazy, and it's been wonderful for us because the feds pay transit agencies based on their ridership numbers.
Sure.
So as our numbers go up, we get more money for our system from the federal government, which means we can increase job opportunities and hiring. We can increase the availability of our services. The routes. We can make the changes that we need to because there'll be the funding there. So it's been great for the community, and it's going to continue to be great because our revenues will increase.
So as you get more riders, you'll get more funds to
Absolutely.
do some other things with it.
Absolutely.
Oh, wow. So
Yeah, it's been great.
Tell us about the surveys that you guys are doing for the community.
Well, part of it's all kind of tied together. These are not specifically zero fare surveys, but we do like community input.
Sure.
And we, our goal that as an agency, the way that we look at it is to get people where they need to go.
Sure.
So that's what we want with the surveys. If we're getting you where you need to go, we want to know how we can do it better. So we have 3 different surveys coming out. One is for people that ride on demand, ADA, or the paratransit, which is formerly Lift Line.
Mm-hmm.
That's, I think, how people still think of it.
Lift
So
Line.
when I say on demand ADA, I mean our Lift Line service.
Okay.
And then we have a separate survey for people that use the on-demand car service, and a separate survey for fixed route bus riders.
Sure.
And so some of the questions are just, are you being treated kindly when you call?
Sure.
Is the bus driver, securing your wheelchair? Those kinds of things. We just want to know, how people feel about the service, what they're getting out of it, and what we can do better.
Sure.
So we're going to put the survey out in early September, and people will have 2 to 3 weeks to answer it. It's just a QR code. We'll have that set up on our website page, and they'll take the survey, and then following that, we will collate the data and see what we get from the information, and we'll have 4 public meetings to address this with the public, and anybody that wants to attend those can. And we'll release all that information via press release
Sure.
and social media sites, webpage, in a few weeks.
Now, here's an important question, I think. So the on-demand, does it take children to school if need be?
We would. I don't know how comfortable parents are
Sure.
with that setup, depending on the age of the child.
Most
I wouldn't put my child in a car service, but it's up to the parent.
Sure.
We do take a lot of school children on the fixed route standard city bus.
On the standard
Yeah,
city bus?
they take the bus to school. We have
got you.
several children that do that.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Most definitely. Well, this is some good information just to know about the Sportran, the different the ways that you service the community.
Yeah, and it's more than I think people think it is.
Most
because,
definitely.
There's
Most definitely.
It's not a super jazzy thing, the city bus, but we're trying to make it fun, and we're trying to make it accessible to as many people as we can.
Most definitely.
Back to the zero fare, a quick story that I wanted to share. I was at a community breakfast, and the head of Christian Services, stopped me and my coworkers afterwards to let us know that they had increased, almost doubled how many free meals they're giving.
Wow.
To people that need their services. So
Of course.
not only is the bus free, but it's increasing accessibility for people to community services that they need. We heard the same from Project Celebration, which is a safe house for domestic violence abusers, and they've seen their numbers go up when the bus went down.
Most definitely.
And it's a service that we initially were going to do for 2022 and 2023,
Sure.
and now we'll be expanding it at least through 2024.
Wow.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing information, Miss Lesie.
Yes.
Is there anything else? Can people follow Sportran on social media?
Absolutely.
How can they?
Instagram, Twitter, or X, or however you refer to that now. Facebook. We have a web page. We try to stay pretty active throughout the week with information on what's coming. We try to share community news on those pages, so it's a really good resource for what's coming up through Sportran. And the other thing that we're going to be doing very soon, and we've already started with planning, is Stuff the Bus for this year.
Okay.
Which every December we pick a local charity that helps children, and we try to stuff a city bus with clothes and toys, and we have donation events throughout the city. More information will be released on that, but if you're looking for like a Christmas charity, this is a great one because we pick the charity, we deliver the toys, and it's just amazing to see the difference that it makes. You know, at Christmas time, it's a struggle for a lot of people.
Of course, you're exactly right. Well, Lesie, thank you again for joining us today on our podcast.
Thank you so much for having us.
We really appreciate your time, and of course, those of you that are watching us. Again, this is Miss Lesie from Sportran, and you've gotten information, some great information as relates to Sportran. We don't want you to forget to tell somebody else that you know. If you're watching now, you need to share this with someone else, that they need to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, City of Shreveport, LA, so that they can also watch these important podcasts, especially this one, episode 13. And then, of course, let's stay social on social media. On Facebook, City of Shreveport Government has a blue check. It is verified. On Instagram, at Love Shreveport, it is verified with a blue check as well. And then, as Miss Lesie stays on top of social media, now X, once known as Twitter, we're at Love Shreveport 1. So we are so excited that you can stay connected with us. And then, of course, if you like to listen to the audio version of our podcast, you can do so on Spotify. You can do so on Google Podcasts, on Apple, and on Amazon. So go there, listen to the audio versions, and then, of course, tell everybody you know that they can watch it live, or it's not live, but they can watch it here on YouTube. So again, thank you so much for tuning in to episode 13 with Miss Lesie and Sportran. And of course, we hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you.
Thank you very much.